Yes, welcome everyone here to the Smash Sports Show right here on Smash FM here on a Tuesday here in Melbourne. Of course, let's go up to our friends up in the top end in particular and, of course, speak with the PINT Football Club. Of course, they play in the NTFL women's competition and, of course, their season actually finished about, 2 months ago now, or 1 or 2 months ago now. And, of course, we've got two very special guests joining us right now from the PINT Football Club to tell us a bit about it. Thanks both for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
I will get both of you to introduce yourselves and tell us what position both of you played on the field this season.
My name's Hanna Quayle. Everyone knows me as Chuck, and I play in the back line.
So I'm Amie Love. Everybody calls me Lovey, and I prefer the back line. However, Ricky had me as a bit of a utility this year, and I spent the beginning of the season in the forward line, and then I even ended up in the ruck at some points. So it was a good development season for my skill set.
Of course, going into this season as reigning champs, how was it like trying to defend a premiership, which obviously you were hoping to achieve this year?
It was a lot of pressure. Won't deny that. There was a lot of talk about trying to back it up again, but I think we definitely lost a lot of our girls from our premiership team, but we still had a fantastic season and had a lot of confidence as the season went on, because we just really started to gel and grow as a new team. Obviously didn't end up with the flag, but I'm very proud of the season we still had regardless.
Yeah, 100% agree with Chuck there. Like it was my first season at PINT this season, and I watched them last season, and I knew who was in that premiership team, and I think maybe 6 girls were left by the end of the season, and we rotated I think 36 through the actual squad over the course of the season. So to have that depth in our club is really great. And yeah, there was the pressure there to obviously back it up. But at the same time, it was all about just developing those new players, and we still achieved a pretty amazing result considering how many new players we did have in our squad this year.
As both of you mentioned, didn't quite get the result you wanted at the end of the season. I think crashed out against Waratah in the finals. So what can you learn from this season to go into next season?
Next season's just going to be strength to strength. Like Lovey said, the depth we had towards the end of last season was just phenomenal. Like our Prem team, we had about 36 through, and then we've got 70 girls that played in our Resi squad, and it made selection really tough. So like a lot of those girls are sticking around for this season coming, and it's just really excites me that we've just been able to grow throughout last season, and we'll just continue into this next one.
I said not too much more to add to that. Like I think Chuck nailed it then. So just building on those strengths, continuing to develop those players. Hopefully we can get even further next season.
So tell us a bit about your coaches.
We have some legend coaches. We've got Ricky Nolan as our premier women's coach, who has gratefully he's sticking around for our next season as well, and our assistant coach there, Toby Stoll, who is phenomenal. He took on a role with Ricky and has just developed himself as a coach, and we love him. And in our resis, we've got Marmo, who is just a little rocket. So all of them bring so much skill, so much knowledge, and they just get around the women, which really makes us feel comfortable to learn and develop within the team.
Yeah, they're great. Like there's no question is a dumb question. Everybody can have a voice and approach them and say, look, I don't really understand what you're saying here, and they'll break it down into a way that we can actually understand. And I think that's really important in women's footy, because sometimes we don't quite understand what they're asking of us, and we just need to explain that little bit differently, or one-on-one to be shown. Or sometimes we just need to be shown exactly what they want from us. And yeah, they do that so well. And they're really approachable people.
Talking about your resis, they smashed it again this year. They won another premiership this season. How special was it the day, and was it more special for the fact that, they were pretty much the only team left?
Yeah, I unfortunately missed all that celebrations because I had COVID. struck down at a really unfortunate time, but got to watch it on the live stream at home, and I think I just sat on the edge of the couch the whole time, like just so excited for them. So damn proud of all the girls that played and all the girls who didn't play but played throughout the season. It was really important to still have that depth, and I think everyone really did so well to support that, like back-to-back flag.
Yeah, definitely. I was in the same boat. I didn't have COVID, luckily, but I was away with more AFL commitments with Army. And I think by the end of the night, we had it up on the big screen and my whole Army team was barracking for the Pints. So that was, really great. So they definitely saw the passion that I had, like every moment. I think I was commentating the whole game.
So, Amie, you mentioned before that because playing more footy, obviously been in the Defence Force. So I think you just got back, didn't you, just recently?
Yeah, I've just been down in Canberra. I was lucky enough to get selected in the ADF team, and we played a curtain raiser against the New South Wales Police Force, the Blue Healers, they're called. And we got to play them as the curtain raiser for the GWS in the St Kilda game. On Friday night at Monica Oval. So that was a huge achievement for us, especially for defence women's football.
The ADF won, and number two, how did the game go? And did you stay for the AFL game between the Giants and the Saints?
Yeah, we won. We probably won a little bit too convincingly, but that's okay. They've got some things to work on for next time. Yes, I did stick around. My family lives not too far away from Canberra, so they came up for the night as well, and we all stayed and watched the footy. So it was good fun.
Both of you, I'm assuming both of you back next season. I'm assuming full point. So what sort of things are both of you looking forward to in the 22-23 season?
I'm super stoked just to see all the faces back again and try and work towards that flag that we didn't get this season gone. But I'm going to take a little step back from the seniors, but I'm so excited about our junior girls that we started this year and hopefully developing going forward next season. And some of our senior women are actually the coaches for our junior girls. And like, that's really where my excitement's going for the next season, to try and build that up.
Yeah, I'm back next season. I think I'll play until my body tells me I can't anymore. And then I'll be looking to go into that coaching space and help develop the juniors because they are so important, especially where our club is at now. We definitely need that pathways to build them up and keep them in our club. And so we have teams for the future. And hopefully there's a few AFLW stars in the making that we can support and get them to live their dreams.
So how did both of you get involved in footy, and why did you choose it?
Footy for me started in Queensland. I'm a New South Wales girl, so I was an NRL girl. And my mate just said, "Do you want to come for a kick and giggle?" And I was like, "Sure." I didn't even know what sport she meant. And I rocked up and it was like, both. I was like, "Oh, what the hell have I got myself into?" And then I moved to Darwin and I've played for 7 seasons here now and I bloody love it. So, yeah. No brainer now. What's NRL?
Yeah, I started playing. Well, I grew up in New South Wales, so I didn't even follow AFL really. I moved to Darwin about 14 years ago, and one of my mates, my defence mates, about 11 years ago said, "Oh, you should come play AFL 9s." And I was like, "What the hell is that even?" So I played in the AFL 9s comp and, did reasonably well. And then she convinced me to start playing for Waratah. So I spent a long time there, and that was basically only when there were 6 teams in the whole Premier League competition. So I've, watched the sport grow phenomenally over the last sort of, 5 to 7 years, going from having 6 teams in the competition to now having 9 and the reserve, whole reserve league as well. So it's been really great to see that growth in the women's football in the territory.
So the silliest question I'm going to ask both of you then is, I'm assuming one of your highlights would be winning a premiership. Am I correct with that for both of you?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
So which premiership means a lot more to both of you?
I've only won the one. Oh, it was last season's. It was our first premiership, first flag for the women's in Pint, and just it's something I've been at Pint since the start, the 7 seasons, and just watching it grow from just making finals to like losing by 100 points to then finally being in a grand final and winning a flag. It was pretty damn emotional, to be honest, and it was just great to be able to do it with still some of the other girls that had been there from the start as well. It was really meaningful.
Yeah, so I actually had that season off. I wasn't, I didn't play for anybody that season, but I was a very supportive partner, and I watched pretty much every single Pints game. And yeah, so it was a different experience for me, and I definitely, I felt like I'd won the premiership even though I was only a spectator. That's how welcoming all the girls were. So yeah, it was a complete, yes, I'd won premierships in the past, but it was a different experience for me being that spectator, but still feeling very much like I'd been on the field myself and, was included in those celebrations. So yeah.
Hanna, I need to ask you this. Have you still got that premiership medal, and how long did you wear your medal around your neck?
Oh, it was a good while. I think I lost it a few times during the 2 days after the grand final. The cheeky thing had to get taped on with a bit of strapping tape so it stopped falling off. But it's hanging on in my hallway on a nail in the wall, just sitting there. So anytime I walk out of the bathroom, bam, there it is. And it's a nice little memento.
Did either of you get a chance to kiss the premiership cup last season?
Yeah, last season had a few drinks out of that cup.
Definitely do.
This season, no, too much COVID.
So what does the sport of football mean to both of you, especially playing there at Pint?
Footy to me, like in Darwin, I think it's very similar for a lot of people. You come here and there's a lot of people that just move up here for a short term, not knowing anyone, and it's just like footy's just such an easy way to make friends, get in around a social scene, build that network, and then have a bloody good time, like while doing it, have a bit of fitness. And honestly, what else is there to do in the wet season? So it's quite fun to actually have something to do on the weekends. And yeah, it's come a lot more for me than that, just kick and giggle, and now being vice president of Pint Footy Club and having like some of my best friends here in the club, and without footy it just wouldn't be the same, Darwin. I think it's mostly my life up here.
Yeah, 100%. Like footy is just sort of, it becomes your second family, regardless of what club you're at, I guess. And those networks that you make, that you're gonna, have friends, they might only be up here for, a couple of years, but then they'll go back to Melbourne or they'll go back to, WA or wherever. But, if you're ever in that state, it's just a phone call and you pick up exactly where you left off. So footy to me has just been developing so many friendships over the years, and it just getting people's different experiences, their stories of how they got into football in the first place, and just seeing how it's developed and what the skill set used to be like to what it is now and what it's going to progress to in the future. It's an amazing thing to have been a part of and to be able to watch happen in front of your eyes. So I'm really excited for the future of the club and our women.
Both of you mentioned right at the start what position both of you play on the field. If you had a dream position where you'd love to convince your coaches to put you next season, where would that be?
Full forward, kicking goals. No, I've been playing full back, and I've kicked 4 goals in my life, and it was in my 100th game, and they were like, just put me in the forward line and kick a goal. No, I actually just really love the back line. I feel most comfortable there. Goals never hurt though; they feel good.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm a defender by heart. Defenders win premierships. It's our job to stop the ball going in those big sticks. So, I love being a defender, and I think it's just easier for me to read the play in front of me as it's coming towards me than it is like in the sense of, okay, how do I cut that off, rather than how do I actually get the ball and kick a goal. But I did start to get my head around that last season. So, but I actually enjoyed my time in the midfield as well. Like, I'm not very tall, so why I was in the ruck, I really don't know. But, well, I guess I was the tallest at the time. So that's probably why I was in the ruck. But just having to have that extra fitness to be where you need to be, and always constantly thinking and having that responsibility to go, am I attacking, am I defending, whereabouts in the transition process am I? So it's a lot more like, for me, being in the midfield was a lot more cognitive thinking, and I think it definitely helped to develop my football. But yeah, defender at heart, 100%.
Of course, I have to ask, what would be your advice to people that should get involved in footy, especially there in Pints?
Oh, why not? Just reach out to us, come down and jump in. You honestly won't regret it. It's such a fantastic club culture, through from juniors up to the senior men and women. And we have some pretty good social media. And that's, I think, how we got a few girls this year. They went looking through the social media of all the clubs, and they liked us. So they decided to come down, and yeah, that's how we're growing. Yeah,
100%. Like, the social media has been on point, I reckon, for the last 2 seasons. I think that's something that the club does really, really well. I would say that, Pints is one of the best clubs for culture, and their welcomeness. Like, you can rock up on the first day not knowing a single person, and you would leave thinking, the conversations that you had, thinking that, oh geez, I feel like I've known these persons for 5 years, but you've literally only met them 2 minutes ago. So yeah, they're just a really, really welcoming bunch of girls who are all there to just be better footballers, and as Ricky says, be better people too. That's sort of one of his mottos, is he wants to help us be better people and be better footballers at the same time. So if we can tick both of those boxes while we're at it, it's a really good achievement.
Who's the comedian, the best singer, and into their TikToks?
Comedian, I reckon Kate Fessy is this dark horse comedian. Like, she cracks me up. Her and Jackie Downey on the commentary for the Resi's grand final, throwing some great one-liners there. You'll have to listen. It was brilliant. So Kate Fess on the commentary. There's a couple girls whose name in the group chat would win a dance battle or something rather about dancing, and so they're pretty into their dancing when they're after game shenanigans. And there's Jessie Bormer, our old full forward, who had a baby this year. She's loves to put on a show with a dance, a little upside down headstand, and really really
I remember.
Yeah. Do either of you have a pre-game superstition or ritual?
I do 100% with a song, an absolute banger by John Williamson. I have to listen to Old Man Emu before the game. In my car, just little John Williamson.
I used to be really superstitious. Like, I would have to start getting ready like 2 hours before, and I have to roll out for like 30 minutes, and then I'd have to have a hydrolyte and then do all these things. But over the last couple of years, I've calmed down a little bit, so I'm not quite as bad anymore. But I definitely, once I get to the grounds and I'm in the change rooms, I have a little routine that I have to do. Otherwise, I just don't feel like I'm in the zone. So yeah, that's probably my little superstition, is my little 5 minutes to myself doing my little stretching routine, and then I'm good to go.
Any good nicknames in the team? Actually, you actually got a good one, Hannah, yourself, actually.
Yeah, it's Chuck. Not because I vomit, but I was the Melbourne Demons mascot a few years ago.
Oh, really?
Chuck. So I changed my name on Facebook so people couldn't find me, but yeah, Chuck's. Yeah.
So Hannah might actually be able to answer this question, because I've only just noticed recently that my name in the group chat has changed to John Farnham, and I've got no bloody idea what it's about.
100%. When Lovey's yelling, on the field. Like as much as we really we want a voice to carry, it doesn't quite carry as much because of the pitch. And so it's like, John Farnham, like you're the voice, try and understand it. That's why.
Okay, that makes sense. Good.
That was pretty good.
I like it. I'll work on that too. I'll work it. I'll work on that for next season.
We
that's
had
brilliant.
our Silly Sunday was come as your nickname in the group chat as your costume. So it was, bloody funny. It was some good ones.
Was there a fine system this year?
Oh, yeah.
Grubby was here because that was one of her main roles, was being the fines master. Hanna was last year, so
yeah, we get about a good $4,000 every year, I reckon.
Wow.
And most of our fines are only like $5, so that's a lot of dumb things people do.
So, who copped the most fines throughout the year, and what was the strangest fine either of you received?
I reckon Jala probably copped the most.
Yeah.
Or maybe Lavo. She definitely just didn't pay hers though. I reckon Lavo probably had about good $30 every weekend. And myself, I got engaged this year, so you got to pay a fine for thingy of your
diamond fine.
Ring. Yeah, so that's it. I put in credit. I just buy all the slabs at the start, put in a few $100 credit, and then I just have to cop what I get along the season.
Yeah, I'm going to put it out there to the teams that they need to find me more. Because you guys fly under the radar quite a bit.
Definitely.
I think I've only had maybe like $15 worth of fines this whole season. So yeah, challenges out there for next season. Pick on Lobby.
Noted.
Lobby, are you sure you want to make that statement? Now they're going to definitely get you next year.
I'm pretty confident that I'm not that silly, but who knows? I might find out. We'll come together next year and see how I went, mate.
I'm instilling a rule right now that any fine that Jazzy gets, you also have to equal.
Oh, great.
Bump it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if that was a great statement to make.
All about supporting the team.
Yeah.
Maybe not single-handedly funding, but all for supporting.
We'll finish up with this last one, which is now, of course, we got a chance to sponsor 2 of your players in your team. So do either of you had a player sponsor this year that you'd like to give them a shout out?
I don't.
Oh.
I didn't have one.
Yeah.
But I'd love to shout out to Beaumont Tiles because they are bloody phenomenal and they have helped us be where we are today.
Yeah, 100%. And they're great people too. They come down and watch nearly all of our games, and they'll stick around and have a beer with us afterwards. So that's really great.
Well, both of you, thank you so much for getting up your time to join us. It's awesome having both of you on the show. Obviously, all the best for the 22-23 season, and let's hope for PINT you can make the double again like you did the season before last. And hopefully for the Razzies, they can make it 3 in a row in 22-23.
Look out for the 3.
Hopefully.
Thanks, Will.
Thanks, Will. Thanks for having us.
No worries. And that's Hanna and Amie. They're joining us from the PINT Football Club because if you want to get involved with this amazing club, of course, we'll put all the details up. And, of course, make sure you follow the club on social media. Of course, one of the best ones around. There's more on the Smash Sports Show right after this. Don't go away here on the 10th year celebration.